total expenses is $1.8 million and 96% of our budget, leaving us a net income thus far of $93,000. Moving on to page 11 is our balance sheet. So our total current assets is $284,000 in across 4 bank accounts. We do have almost $172,000 in accounts receivable, with the majority of that being for the 2025 assessments and legal fees. Our total assets with that is $462,000, which is also our total liabilities for our collections. Summary, page 12. This shows the various accounts receivable and where we're at as far as collection goes. So for our 2025 assessments, we do have just over $57,500 outstanding, and we are 97% collected on that. The total outstanding in assessments is $65,766. We also have additional fees in accounts receivable, and that's a total of $106,000, and that's legal fees, finance charges, admin fees, and all of those fees. And that gives us a total accounts receivable of almost $172,000. Any questions? All right, our next financial report is for the Master Maintenance Association. On our revenues for the year, we are just under $2.2 million, which is 65% of the budget. For expenses, we are at under professional services, we are at $213,000. Grounds and common areas, we're at 1.5, which is 65% of our budget. Facilities is $110,000. Turning to page 14, we have our utilities costs. We're just over $60,000 here. And then under administration is we're just under $40,000 here. Our total expenses for the year to date is $1.88 million, and we have a net income of $302,000. We do have some big expenses coming up in the next couple of months, so that'll probably break even by the time we get to the end of the year. Yeah. Moving on to page 15 is our community council financial report. And so for our revenues here, we are just over $550,000. Under staffing, which is our lifestyle management team and our permanent on-site event staffing, we are at $236,000. Professional services is at $103,000. And then we have our events and our programs, and we have those separated into the different pillars that the council follows. And we have connecting, and this includes events such as Enchanted and Haunted, Splash Days, the Autumn Market, so events that are about just getting together. We are at $81,000. Living Healthy, so these are events obviously centered around sports and outdoors and living healthy events. We had our trail walks, we had Refresh and Renew earlier this year, and we are just at just under $4,500 here. Arts and culture, so here we have Down and Dash. We have our July 4th celebration, Aloha falls here, and then this year we also had an event called Swing in the 20s, and those events are all here, and it's just over $11,000. We have our lifelong learning. Here you're going to find any class expenses and our little learners that we do, and any other special club expenses that may come up. And here we are at $3,700. Giving back, this charitable donations and events so far, and we are at $1,360 here. We also have a category for lifestyle supplies, which could include like event signage and event supplies that would be used across multiple events, things of that nature. Not spent a whole lot here, $175. And then under administration here, we are at $48,000. Our total expenses for community council today is $490,000.
We've done deficit funding requests in the last couple of weeks.
Correct.
For both the Master Maintenance Association and the council, for a total of about $300,000.
Yes, I've requested $300,000 from the developer for the remainder of the year to cover the rest of the expenses that we'll be having. Because we've already had our haunted, but we haven't seen the expenses yet because our lifestyle company covers that and then bills us in arrears. So these numbers don't even include our two biggest events, which are haunted and enchanted. So we will need some support from the developer in order to meet all of our financial obligations for council and for master. Okay. moving on to the violation summary report, we have on page 17. This is just a bird's eye view of the violations that we have out there. We have what we call builder compliance violations, so you'll see a lot of builder names there, and that's anything that the builder needs to do on a property to meet the minimum builder requirements when they sell a house. So those numbers are high because they have a lot of homes. But if we're just looking at homeowner issues, our biggest concern is trash cans stored in view. We do have 44 active violations in that area. And then we have tree violations, we have 30 violations there, and then lawn care, which is maintenance, and landscaping, which is the minimum requirement. We have 23 and 22 violations. So those are our biggest areas. All of those being temporary things. We don't really have any issues, obviously, with brand new homes. We don't have a lot of home repair type items that need to be done generally. Moving on to our home improvement request, our home improvement report, page 18. This just gives us a summary of what types of exterior modification requests that we've seen. And this report is ran from September 1st to November 5th. And our largest item here is landscaping areas. So this could be anything from completely redoing someone's beds to adding landscaping walkways. That would all fall under landscaping. So that's 14% of the requests in that time frame have been for landscaping. We've also had quite a few standby generator requests. 6% of the applications have been that, and 12% of the applications have been for driveway or walkway, so like stone paths next to the driveway or to the backyard. Any questions on that? Nope. Oh, I'm sorry, we have 12% have been swimming pools too in that time frame, so we've had quite a few swimming pool requests as well. Okay, then that takes us to unfinished business, which is the 2025 annual meeting. We did have our annual meeting. However, we had a tie. We had 2 open positions that were to be voted to be resident board members, and that's where Danielle came from. We welcome Danielle. We have a second position that we were not able to fill at the annual meeting because there was a tie. We did have the option of doing a revote just of the people that were in the room at that time. However, many people had already left at that point, so the decision was made to just schedule another election to give everybody an opportunity to revote. So we do have another meeting scheduled for Monday, December 8th. The notices have been prepared. They have been mailed. They've even delivered at this point. You got yours? Okay. So the only things left to do at this point is just really wait. The voting is already happening online. That'll be open until December 7th. We will send reminders to everyone about the meeting and voting, and then we'll have the meeting. The meeting will be just to conduct the election. We will ask for voting tabulators like we did at the first meeting. We asked for volunteers from the audience to join our personnel to go into the other room and validate and count all of the votes. So we'll ask for that, and then we'll take an intermission. And we have a food truck that we're working on getting so that folks can enjoy a snack while because the counting could take a little bit of time. It'll go a little bit faster this time because it's only 2 people. But still want to entertain everyone and have everybody have something to do in that time. So we'll have a food truck, we'll have board games out, and just take a little fun break while we wait for that, and then we'll reconvene the meeting and announce the election results.
And as a reminder, the process for voting is it's 1 vote per household, not per the residents of the household. So each address gets 1 vote.
Yeah. And we've had a couple of concerns about the online voting. Someone had indicated they were able to vote more than once, and it will not keep you from voting more than once. However, that's why we validate. Every single vote that comes in, we validate. It has to have a matching pin. If we have more than 1 vote for the same property, we take the latest vote, and that's the only one that gets counted. They all get put together, but only 1 vote gets counted. And then also you'll get a message on the screen confirming that your vote was received. So you will not get another email because we actually have a lot of the big email companies that don't like this. Don't like our system. They block any confirmation emails. So we now put that confirmation on the screen for you. So as long as you get that confirmation, you can print that out, and that's your confirmation that your vote worked.
And it's important to use the PIN that's sent to you, because if you use somebody else's PIN, then that will invalidate your vote.
Yes. All right. So that's it on the annual meeting. Now we move on to new business. Our first item is to adopt the 2026 budget and the annual assessment rate. So some general information about the budget. I lost my other paper. I'm sorry, bear with me. I've got like a summary.
I haven't left the room, so it's
I
got
have not. Well, I remember. So the budget is based on 195 new lots. I remember. And that is across two associations. It's across both Central and North Village. So that's anticipating that the developer will bring in the number of sections that includes 195 new lots. So that much growth and about 240 new homes. That is what the budget is based on. What happens in Central is important for the North Village budget as well, because both of the villages support master maintenance and they support the community council. So we have to understand what's going to happen in both of those areas, because the more lots there are, the more homes there are, that generates revenue for the village. And that in turn generates revenue for Master Maintenance Association and for the community council. So we get projections from the developer on what they think that they are going to do for the next year, and our budget across all of the associations. Again, we have North Village, we have Central Village, we have Community Council, we have Master Maintenance, is based on those numbers. So with those numbers in mind, and with knowing that the association, the Master Maintenance Association, is going to take on a new amenity next year. So with a new amenity comes new expenses. We're going to have maintenance costs for the facility itself. We'll have utility costs. We will have access costs, because it'll have a Brevo system just like we have at the park. The new sections that come in will also mean new maintenance for Master Maintenance as far as landscaping. So all of that is part of coming up with the numbers for what the Master Maintenance Assessment needs to be, which is the driving number for what your village assessment needs to be. The bulk of your assessment for the villages goes to the Master Maintenance Association. So we have to get all of that information together and know what we're adding, what to expect as far as the Master Maintenance and Community Council to come up with our numbers. So based on that, we are anticipating a 9% increase on the North Village assessment to $13.95, and that is to cover an increase for Master Maintenance. That I don't. 10% increase to Master Maintenance, and Community Council was a 14% increase, I believe. And then they needed those increases in order to continue to provide the services. This is in addition to the anticipated developer funding of $300,000 that I have expected for next year. 200 to
625 total.
Yeah, with assessment. We get deficit funding for any shortages, so that's about $300,000. In addition to that, the developer has to pay assessments for all of the lots that they own, and they also fully financially support the cafe. So the total liability for the developer is just over $600,000. And again, $300,000 of that is for just to cover the difference of what we need in Master Maintenance and Community Council. So with that, we have a full budget package. It starts on page 20, which I've been summarizing for you. Page 21 is the numbers, if you will, what the master says. So the master assessment, we have it here. So it's an 8% increase. So the master assessment is going to be $11.47 next year, and the community council is a 15% increase to $120.15. Right. Then moving on to page 22, this is where all of the revenue and expenses are detailed.
What's that? That goes to the master maintenance. What's that? That goes to the council.
So with the assessment based on a 1395, we have anticipated revenue of just over 2.2 million. That's and $1,937,000 in homeowner assessment. Let's see, $91,000 and $146,000 in builder and developer assessments. And then we have other sources of revenue, like prior year assessments for those numbers that I read earlier that were delinquencies. We'll collect some of that next year. And then we'll have interest, and we'll also have the opportunity to put some of these funds in higher interest bearing accounts to get a little bit of interest on it. But there's not a whole lot there. That's $1,200 of the revenue. And then moving on to expenses, this shows all of the expenses associated with the 2026 budget year. So under professional services, the budget number is $129,000. For committees, we're at $500,000. Our master assessment and community assessment combined is $1.975 million. So again, that's where the bulk of that assessment is driven. That's the driver of what your assessment needs to be. Administration is at $71,843. Our total expenses will be $2.177, and we'll have a little bit of a net income of $40,000, which will offset some prior year losses. As we move to the public village. Okay. Any questions on that?
So we're forecasting about 40.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I had a question. When you say maintenance, are you pretty much talking about like landscaping maintenance?
No, she's talking about the Master Maintenance Association, which is the separate kind of like umbrella association that is responsible for all facility maintenance. So that's more than just landscaping. That's for all common areas. So that includes amenities and facilities.
Okay. Do we get like estimates from different? I know the landscaping is a pretty big budget. I mean, do we ever get estimates, or do we just keep the same company and take an increase every year? Because I'm sure that's what they do. You know?
We do bid out, particularly the large contracts like the landscape contract. I think someone asked that question in the annual meeting as well. Yes. So on landscaping, that's something that we'd consider bidding every sort of 3 to 4 years. That's a kind of fairly big one, and it's like rebidding that is a big job. And also when you make landscape changes, there's a sort of learning curve for the new landscaper. And I think our current landscaper is it 2 or 3 years in? 3 years in, yes. So there's a probability that we will bid out landscaping maybe in 2026, perhaps 2027. It depends. But yes, big things are the big things are bid out.
Okay. And I had another question. Every time a house is like sold or bought, you know, there's like a 0.5% fee that goes to, I believe, you know, the HOA. Or is that in the budget as well?
We include all of the fees that are associated with new home sales, because new home sales include there are fees associated with new home sales, and there are fees associated with resales, and all of those are estimated and included in our revenue estimates. The resale fees, that percentage fee that you're talking about is you're likely talking about the fee that goes to the community council. Which is kind of like a Laura, help me out.
We call it well, we averaged it based on about $800, just because the value differ.
Yeah.
And so, but that's represented on the community council budget, because that's community council income, and then the capitalization fee is represented on the master maintenance budget. That's master maintenance income. Those revenue sources are in addition to the village assessments. It offsets what the village assessment needs to be. So the North Village assessment doesn't have those revenue revenue sources. We could have a capitalization fee in Artavia North. The documents allow it, but we don't.
You don't do
We don't do it.
Mm-hmm.
So the budget takes all of those into incorporation. It incorporates all of that. We look at all of the associations together because what happens in master maintenance and what happens in community council have greatly impact what needs to happen in the villages. So all of that is all part of the process.
And the portion of days in the villages is essentially the money that the villages need to operate. So the villages collect the assessments and then keep what they need. Yeah. And then the balance is distributed to the Master Maintenance Association and the Community Council. That balance isn't yet enough to pay all of those Council and Master Maintenance Association bills for the year, which is why we, as the developer, still deficit funds the association. Obviously, the goal is for the associations to be self-financing as time goes on. But as developer, we have the option to either pay our assessments or deficit fund. At this stage, we choose to do both.
Okay, it just seems like, $13.95 without a pool is a pretty high assessment. And I don't know if you've noticed, there's a lot of homes for sale, a lot, and they're not selling. And that could be one of the reasons. I mean, it just seems like, I was in Tavola and in New Caney, and they had a pool, and, the assessment was only like $600 a year. I mean, this seems
They
like
also have
maybe...
a police station within that community at Tavola, which we do not have.
Well, they have police that cruise the neighborhood a lot more than the constable does here. I mean, they have one or two officers in that neighborhood, and they have a direct phone number you can call, and they'll be at your house within 2 minutes. I haven't really looked at the budget numbers, but it seems like, maybe something should be trained in order to, a lot of people won't want to pay an assessment that high. And that could be one reason why we're not selling homes. There's like 70 homes for sale. And some of these, like J. Patrick homes, 5, 6, 7, 800,000. I mean, I kind of feel for them because I don't know, I just, I don't know. I mean, that's all I really want to do.
I have a question. How does that HOA fee compare to Evergreen and Woodson Reserve? Those are our two biggest competitors. They have much more amenities than we do. They already have their neighborhood signs up on their new entrances, which we don't. And they have pools and everything else. So, I mean, to be competitive, to sell houses here, to have a realistic budget, how does that HOA annual fee compare to those neighborhoods? Because, guys, those are our competition. I talked to one of the sales reps just this weekend, and they said, we have them convinced to buy Artavia when they're here. They go to Woodson Reserve, they never come back. They go to Evergreen, school, everything, and they don't come back. So how are we benchmarked against our competitor communities is my question.
Yes, ma'am. So again, I'd just like to interject. So we monthly meet with consultants who review all of the neighborhoods in the surrounding area, Houston in total. And for the northern part of the Houston area, which encompasses both Woodson's and Evergreen, we outsell all those communities. So people are wanting to buy an Artavia.
Well, I can tell you, if you talk to the sales reps, we're losing the Woodson Reserve and we're losing the Evergreen. So I don't know how the consultants we're hiring, but I would just say, what I think that the gentleman's question was this: what are we paying compared to those two other neighborhoods, which are our direct competitors?
I can't speak to what another neighborhood's assessment is or why their assessment is set that way. We're not privy to that information and what that developer...
Well, I tell you that's what buyers look at. Your budget's based on selling properties, so you need to look at that because that's exactly what buyers are looking at. They're looking at that. What is my annual cost after I become a homeowner? What do I get for that? And that is part of their buying decision. Your budget is based on selling properties. We all want you to sell properties because it helps all of our homeowner values too. Believe me, we're in this same boat together. But the facts are what they are. How do we compete with two communities that are nearby us, that are new developments, Evergreen and Woodson Reserve? How do we compete with them? I think in every decision that we make, or you guys make, we need considering that.
Woodson Reserve is not a new community. They are built out as far as
Yeah.
where they may be selling a few more lots.
No, they're not built out. They have entirely new sections open. They just opened a whole new entrance. And by the way, their entrance is already open with full landscaping and a neighborhood sign, and ours is not. But I'm telling you, they're not built out. I can go by comparable homes in Woodson Reserve today, new homes that are being sold in Artavia. Y'all need to talk to the salespeople. This is what they're competing with. They see the foot traffic. You guys don't. I don't either. I just happen to talk to them, and this is what I'm hearing from them. They are not making sales because we're losing to those other two communities.
And the Highlands, that's another new community as well.
We have people selling Artavia homes, moving to the Highlands with an unsold home here in Artavia, carrying two mortgages because they want out of this neighborhood. Fees are too high, no school, no amenities. So you're right. Thank you for whoever said that. But the Highlands, I totally forgot, is a big competition. Guys, heads are in the sand if we're not paying attention to this. I own a home here. I care. Please don't take my directness and my comments and my passion here. I'm totally with you guys on this. Again, we're all in the same boat. But if you don't recognize it, we've got a problem. We've got these communities we're competing with. Talk to your salespeople. They're not selling homes. We're losing out to those other communities.
And on top of that, these people that can't sell are renting their homes. We have over 10 rental homes in the community, maybe more, and another 10 or 15 that are on the MLS. So if they can't sell them, they're going to rent them, and that's usually going to bring a different crowd of neighbors. I mean, I know because there's already a couple on my street, and it's just something, overflowing trash cans, the driveway full of vehicles, people in the street. I mean, it's just, it's going to be a cascading effect. And if you're not selling them, you're not getting that, 0.5% development fee, and you're not going to have a HOA, someone paying an HOA because they're not buying a house.
Hey guys,
that's all I'm saying.
all I have to say, I'm an accountant. If we're not selling houses, new lots and new houses, your budget's a bust. And that means our fees keep going up. We're in this boat together, guys. We have got to compete with these other communities, and we're not. We've got to figure out a way to make that be successful. Don't be in denial. We've got to figure out a way together how to successfully navigate that. Those communities are doing that.
Part of the budget process is to receive the predictions from the developer on house sales and lot sales, and that is all incorporated in the budget. Regardless if that number is up or down, that's already built into the budget. We don't know
if you don't sell homes, the projected number that you have in there for your budget, then we're going to have a shortfall. And the way you cover a shortfall is to raise fees, which then makes us more competitive with the other neighborhoods. The other gentleman's right. It's a cycle. There's a circle here. All I'm saying is, please, listen guys, and now you've got Colton starting up, which who's the developer there on the left? You know that. You're the developer in Colton. That's becoming a competition now. It's just over here to the west of us, right, where you can buy new homes. Woodforest is almost built out, and Colton is starting up over there. That's another Araya development. So I'm just saying, we have competition. If y'all don't recognize that, incorporate that into these decisions effectively. It hurts all of us. It really does.
We do incorporate all of that into the budget. The developer has lots of experts that they rely on to come up with their plans for the following years, and that information is passed on to me. so that I can create the budgets for the association. So all of that is into consideration. We can't answer to what other communities do. We don't know how much their developers fund, or if they pay assessments, if they don't pay assessments. That information is not available to us. We know what is available to us through Artavia, and that is the information that we use to create the budget. And this is where we're at, where we need to have an assessment rate of $13.95. And moving on to my presentation, I just wanted to go on to page 25, board members. This is an overview of the financial health of the association. So you'll see the blue line is where we're at today as far as what our fund balance is, and the red line is where we need to be at some point. So you see over time those numbers start to meet, those lines start to meet, because that's our goal, to have an operating fund to cover any fluctuations in revenue and expenses. That's what that chart is about. And then if you will turn to the next page, this is our assessment projections. These are projections. This is going forward for 15 years. So again, projections based on what we have today, not necessarily what we might have in 5 years. But this shows the assessment rate and compares it to inflation. And as you can see, at some point that number starts to go under the inflationary number, because as the additional villages and are added and more homes are added, the obligation per homeowner is going to go down.
Which is around about the same time that we get to the point where we are pretty much fully funded.
Right.
On the equivalent of reserve, an operating fund, which is always our goal. Our goal as a developer is always to ensure that an association is left in a financially secure position, so able to cover the unexpected. Again, we don't know that the associations that are round about us or you consider to be competition, whether they're taking that into account.
So just moving on to once the assessments are set, we will work on sending out assessment letters. That letter will include a visual breakdown of the assessment for each entity. So you will be able to see the North Village assessment breakdown, as well as master maintenance and community council, to give you a visual look at where the money is spent. How is that separated amongst all of those? So that will be part of your assessment package that you will get in the mail. So a lot of your questions may be answered with that information. Right? So the rest of the pages on the budget package, 27 through 33.
I want to make a comment. So you said that we'll be able to see all the information, but that's not true. This is probably like the third year that I ask about Artavia's master assessment breakdown, that chart of account, that line item in specific. And you guys say, yeah, we can see the number. It's in the P&Ls and the balance sheets. We can see it. Where's the breakdown that makes up that number?
Well, again, that will be in your assessment letter. There's a pie chart, and that was in last year's assessment.
No, not a consolidated version, a detailed version. And I've been told that because it's not part of this.
On my Red Dog app, they're posted every single month, and that is a detailed version.
Do you have the app?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I'll see it. I'll see like your accounts payable. I'll see the number, which is 2034. It'll have a number on it, but it's not a breakdown as to, like, that's where the numbers are for the large contracts that you have. I'm assuming for landscaping, what that amount is exactly. We also need to see the contracts on these. Is it a 4-year? You mentioned 4 or 5 year term contracts. Like, what is all of that?
The actual financial reports with the chart of accounts and the expenses per month are posted on my Red Dog app every single month.
And that includes contracts with the subs that are.
We don't post the contracts. The contracts are with Village. I'm sorry, the master.
Yeah, that's the one that I want information on, because that's where the money's going.
We don't post the contracts on my Red Dog app. That's not you. You are a member of the North Village Association. The North Village Association doesn't hold a contract with the landscape company.
Right, you guys have another company. there's another company where the money from our fees go to.
I don't understand your question. There's not another company. I need to move on.
Well, I hope there's not a company, because that would make conflict of
We
interest.
haven't open forum yet, so if we can let Laura finish and let the board finish the tasks that we have to do, we can then move on to open forum. So if you would just give us that moment, we would appreciate it. Thank you.
So again, moving, all of the detailed information is on here that explains each number on the North Village budget. It correlates with the number on the right side of the paper. So at this time, I would ask that someone make a motion to set the assessment at $13.95 and to adopt the budget as presented. All in favor?
Aye. That was Rose. Oh, yes, just making sure.
Okay, so that concludes that portion of new business. Our next item is the development update, so I'll pass it on to you.
Yep, so in North Village, we are wrapping up the maintenance term for the Artavia Parkway Phase 5 landscape job. Expect that to get done in the next few weeks, and that will turn over to HOA maintenance before the end of the year. In your sister district at Central Village, there's 3 landscape jobs currently ongoing. Should get most of those turned over before the end of this year. One of them will be at the start of next year. Recently turned over a new section of 40-foot specialty product. That would be Weston Homes selling out of there. That landscape job should start after the first of the year. The entry for 1314, as TxDOT has finished their work over there, which is what we were waiting on to get started. Didn't want them to impact anything with the monument construction. That's why there's been a delay. Met with that contractor on site today for a little recon. They should get started this week. You'll see them start tying steel, digging some piers and footings, and they intend to have that monument up before the end of the year. The landscaping job will follow. The Central Village Rec Center site, still working through some permitting stuff with Montgomery County. As soon as we get that done, we'll start with WSCD. The site's been cleared. Hope to do something before the end of the year. That's not looking particularly positive this minute, but we will get started at the first of next year if we can before the end of this year. So that's all I've got right now.
Thanks, Ben.
Okay, that's it for new business. So we can open it up for open forum now. So if anyone does have a question, you can unmute and ask your question.
I have one quick question. I'm sorry to interrupt. And good afternoon, everybody.
Okay.
Hey, I have one quick question regarding development. I think you just touched on it. I just wanted to know what was the plans for the corner of Astar Parkway and Artavia. You know, that little site maybe on the central of the neighborhood. You know, it's a little piece of land that's been cleared out. And I was just thinking what future development is in the works for that spot exactly.
We're anticipating that to be a daycare site at some point. We don't have a buyer yet. We're taking advantage of some dry weather. We went ahead and cleared that, and we are working with a contractor and start bringing some dirt to that site just so we can prepare it for sale.
Understood. Any ideas of maybe any type of I don't know, maybe something that's not a daycare, maybe like a coffee shop, any maybe like something to grab a bite to eat or something of that nature?
I think as of now, we're fairly firm on that particular site being a daycare. But there is other commercial opportunities in the future and we having things like whether it's an off-the-town restaurants, those sorts of things.
Gotcha.
Businesses like that are more likely to be interested in land that has frontage onto 1314 and 242 rather than internal. That internal site is most likely going to be daycare because of its proximity to the school site.
Yes.
The Zone School District.
Yes,
so
it makes perfect sense.
Attractive in that way, that type of business.
I like it. Yep. And you know, regarding the school, is there like a plan on when development might start for the school?
That is entirely up to the school district,
I see.
and I said this at the annual meeting, and I will say it again, which is if you as taxpayers and homeowners and parents in the school district, make yourself vocal, attend school district meetings, and the school is aware of the desire within the community. They're going to be they're going to base those decisions on assessments that they do of need, but also as part of their planning process, they have to plan for bonds to enable them to be able to build new buildings and new facilities. So please, all of you, go to those school district meetings, go to the school board meetings. You have more power with them than we do because you pay taxes.
Gotcha. Alrighty, I appreciate your time. Thank you for all your answers. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks so much.
I had a question, and maybe you announced it earlier. I came a little late to the meeting, so I apologize. I wanted to know why the HOA fees are going up this coming year.
So the fees are based on multiple factors. Some of the big drivers for next year is we are having a second amenity added that the Master Maintenance Association will be responsible for. With an additional amenity comes additional maintenance costs. We'll have utility costs for that amenity. We have access costs. We'll have to have the Brevo system expanded to that. We'll have to have camera system, security system, all of that. So that's one of the big drivers. Another big driver is we still are deficit funded by the developer. So we need to get the assessments to where they need to be, to where the developer no longer has to write a check at the end of the year, every year, so that we can continue to provide everything that we provide. With growth, we get new sections that will require additional grounds maintenance services, additional street lights will be added. So growth is always, it's always a factor in that. But one of the biggest drivers is our second amenity center that's coming.
Are you able to share what those amenities will look like? I feel like I went to the Artavia website and it did have some sort of update. Would you be able to verify that information that I saw on the website is still current?
I'm going to refer to Ben. He actually announced it at the annual meeting, and I'm not 100%. I got all of it down. So what's the new one?
There's nothing, as far as I'm aware, I don't think anything's been put on our website. We've named what it is, but we haven't, we don't have any renderings to share just yet. We're still finalizing a few design items on that, but there will be, I don't know how you say it, 2 pickleball courts, but there's 4 of them. I don't know the best way to say it. It's not 4 courts, but it is. There'll be a nice covered structure. There will be a big splash pad, and then we're going to have quite a bit of different playground equipment kind of geared for more various age ranges, kind of, we'll have some toddler equipment, kind of middle age, and then large, your big kids kind of stuff.
It's located in the Central Village area, and if you drive down there, there's a big billboard that has an announcement with details about the coming amenities, and at some point that I'm sure will have a skin over it, which will have the rendering.
Right. Once we have kind of those last few design elements finalized, we'll have some renderings made, and at that point we'll share them.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
Check.
Okay, let me check the chat.
One question, the master assessment entity name, what's the actual name of that?
The Artavia Master Maintenance Association.
Artavia LLC?
MMA, Master Maintenance Association.
Right, but it's an entity that's getting paid. What's the legal name?
That is the legal name.
It's the Inc.
Yeah.
Master Maintenance, Artavia Master Maintenance Association, Inc.
Yes.
Incorporated, okay.
It's another HOA, essentially. It's a Master Maintenance HOA. And then the North Villages, I think, we talked through the structure at the annual meeting. Were you at the annual meeting? Did you get that handout?
Yeah, and that's when I was told that I can't get into the books of the Mass Maintenance Association and Corporation because it was a separate entity.
You can't inspect the books, but you have access to the financial reports that are posted every single month.
Yes.
Yeah, I see the reports and the amount that goes into this entity, the Master Maintenance Association and Corporation. We can see that.
Master Maintenance Association uses that money because the Master Maintenance Association's accounts are posted on Red Dog as well. You have the accounts there for the Master Maintenance Association, the villages, and the community council.
The third-party audit reports, has any of that been done on these books?
We have a financial audit performed every year on all of the associations.
Yes.
Are those posted as well?
No.
Why not?
Is there a reason that it needs to be? Is there something that you're looking for?
Well, we can't see the contracts, so how are we, the residents, going to verify the numbers that are posted? Anybody can put anything in the books.
Okay, well, I'm not going to continue to entertain these types of questions because we are not falsifying records. We are putting official financial.
You are increasing our fees, so I have a ground to say I need to see.
You don't have a grounds to accuse the association of falsifying records.
I'm not accusing
She
you.
never said she accused them. She said she wanted to see them. There's a difference.
I want to see because you're saying you're increasing the fees. That's
Okay.
where my motive is coming from.
We get the financial reports that are not falsified are on the Red Dog app. They are posted every month. It's the current one and the prior 12 months. You can look at all of that. It's all available to you.
So the audit reports are not available. The contracts are not available. I have to go based on the word that you, or the numbers that you put on these reports, and just.
It's not a public contract. Contract's not with the North Association. You're not privy to that contract. You can't just go to a business and demand to see their contracts.
I'm not going to that business. I'm going to my HOA and asking for the contract that my fees and a lot of residents' fees pay for. Yes or no? Do we pay? We do.
North Village Association. The North Village Association has a financial obligation to the Master Maintenance Association.
And in the Master Maintenance Association is a lot of numbers that we would like to see because our fees are being raised.
The financial reports are posted. I presented them at this meeting, and that written record is, the October's not because it's not finalized yet, but you can certainly look at September and every.
This has been going on for years. It's not just October. Every year the fees are being raised.
Every single month's assessment is posted. Every single month's financial report is posted on the app.
Master Maintenance and Corp, that entity where our North Village pays into, has a lot, is probably the biggest payable chart of account from my understanding.
Report is available. That financial report is also posted.
Okay, so, and you said that there were audit reports annually. Why can't we see those?
I'll discuss it with the board in executive session.
Is there a master maintenance meeting? I'm used to living in a neighborhood where we had 2 HOA meetings that we went to, one for our local village, and then we had a separate meeting where we went for the master one. And typically, to her point, the audited financial statements would be presented in the meeting and a vote to accept them, which, I mean, they are what they are. You gotta accept them, right? Because they came from an independent auditor. But maybe that's what she's driving towards, is the transparency of that. And if there's a master meeting. I lived in Fairfield, which was over at 290 and Mason Road, huge development, very common. My other friends as well, Town Lake, Bridgeland, they have 2 HOA meetings. They have the local village meeting, and then they have the master meeting. So perhaps that might be what she hasn't attended, if there is one. And
there is none, so that's what.
Maybe that's the question, and maybe that's the question we should be addressing, is what is the master maintenance meeting, and we should have one for that, right?
No, we're not privy to it.
Right. But let's let the board answer that. I mean, because is there a meeting for that and we're all missing it, or is there not a meeting and why? Maybe that's the real question that needs to be answered.
Each association does have meetings. However, the the homeowners are only members of the villages that they live in. So you're a member of the Artavia North Village, as an individual member. For the Artavia Master Maintenance Association and the Artavia Community Council, the association is the member. So it doesn't have individual members. It just has each association. And at some point in development, each village will appoint members of the board for master maintenance and for community council, and that's your spokesperson. And that was another question on the chat, by the way. It's a good segue to that. Somebody asked if the central association gets to vote on board members. So just like North Village got to a certain point in development, once Central gets to that point in development, they will vote for their own board members. They don't vote for the North Village board members, but they'll vote for their Central Village board members. And then once those board members are homeowner controlled, then those entities will appoint their representatives on each of those other associations, the master maintenance and the community council.
But it's not at that point yet.
Right.
Okay, but that's central. She's talking about the master. So what you're saying is each of you sitting here at this table are fiducially responsible for whatever money we're sending over to the master association. You'd be asking the same questions that we are asking. Hey, where's our money going? Where are your audited financials? What is your budget? What's your contract approval process, et cetera, et cetera? Is that true? Because you're basically representing us. If we can't see it, then you're our representative with that fiduciary responsibility towards the master. I think that is what you're saying, but I don't want to assume that. Is that correct?
Well, currently, while we're in this early stage of development, the board members for Master Maintenance Association and Community Council are also developer appointments. Lucy is on all of the association board members, so there is great knowledge across all of the associations on and everything involved in each of the expenses and the contracts and everything.
Right. But I think she's asking though. I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt. I just want to try to help out in this understanding. I think what she's asking is who's representing us, the homeowners, because it's our money, and well, of course, it's the developer's money too. But who's representing the homeowners? I'm thinking you guys are. You're our board, right? At the village level. And we make the assessment and determination of what our fees are. So her question is, who's representing us, the homeowners, then at the master meetings and making sure audited financial statements are being properly obtained, the budgets are being properly approved, the contracts go through a due diligence and a bidding process and approvals. Who's doing that? Watching that on the master to be sure it's really happening to represent us as homeowners. I think that's what her question is.
So, when we say the developer is in control of the boards, the actual terminology is declarant. And the declarant is the developer entity within the governing documents of the association. So we essentially wear two hats. The declarant wears the hat of the developer who sits as a board member on the HOA, representing the interests of the homeowners associations. Does that answer your question?
Kind of sounds like a conflict of interest, so.
Conflict of interest.
It kind of sounds like it, because on the Master Maintenance Association, you're representing the developer, but the developer has, like you just said it, you were representing the developer.
It's the governance roles within the association. Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
If it's outlined in the documents of the association.
Yeah, it is. So you represent North, Central, Master, and Lee, and then the other one. So why can't we get into those audited financials on the ones that are not North or Central? We're sending money there.
I think Laura said to you a little while ago that this is something that we will discuss in executive session. Yeah?
Without residents involved, is that right? When you say executive session?
No, we have a homeowner board member here. We have Danielle here, and she will be included in that discussion.
In closed session, correct?
Correct, yes.
With minutes that are going to be posted, or just closed as well?
Executive session does not have minutes.
Oh, okay, so, got it.
Do we have any other questions? Anyone else?
I had a question, when are we gonna get our signage up over there on, I know it's Department of Transportation related, but again, the other communities who started after us, they're fully getting their signage up. When is that gonna happen on 1314? Cause I think the light, having the light is helpful, cause it makes people stop.
Your question.
Miss Terry, can cut in, please?
Yeah.
Can I cut in? Yes, ma'am. So I did touch on this, just a few minutes ago. I mentioned that I met the contractor on site earlier today. They
Yeah.
should start happening later this week, and that we anticipate having the monument up before the end of the year with landscaping to follow at the start of the year.
Oh, good. I'm sorry. When you said monument, I didn't know that that's the monument you were talking about. I thought maybe it was a monument in some other section of the neighborhood. But thank you so much. I appreciate that clarification. Thank you.
I had another question. Are there any other businesses on Artavia Parkway between Astaire and 1314 that will get built out, or is it just the daycare on that corner and then just the street light on 1314?
We anticipate there will be future commercial sites slightly on the Artavia Parkway, but the bulk of that will be 1314 frontage. Kind of the areas you see now as you're driving through, the vast majority, as you drive south to 1314, that will mostly be future homes, excluding, as I said, some portions along 1314 frontage.
Thanks.
What about that big section of land that faces 242? I didn't hear you say anything about that, or I missed it, maybe.
The undeveloped land on 242 is also commercial. We don't have a time frame for when that will sell, but that is designated as commercial land.
Because it seems like if they developed it, maybe with a gas station or a little strip center, it might help sell some homes. I mean, it's been sitting there for years, and I don't know what they're waiting for, you know?
Because there is a level of commercial that we would like to have there. We don't want just the first person to come along and slap a smoke shop in a strip center.
Thank you for that. Yes, thank you. We appreciate that.
Yes, ma'am. So again, it's not just the homes that sell in Artavia that they look for. Again, it's not just the homes that sell in Artavia, it's the area in total. So as more homes sell in Lavera, Evergreen, south of us, and east of us, there will be greater interest in that commercial site from the level of retailer that y'all want and expect for Artavia.
Thank you. I have a quick question. I've been trying to jump in, but man, we have a lot of questions today. This is Lucy Wells. Back a few meetings back, and I apologize, I don't recall which meeting it was. Is it safe to say that the HOA fees will be going up until completion of the construction?
It's safe to say that HOA fees will continue to increase by inflation plus. And even once development is complete, all homes are built, you should still anticipate inflationary increases to your HOA fees.
Is there a time frame that you expect completion or an estimate of completion of the construction?
Yes.
Yeah, it's in the mid 2030s right now is the current projection.
Yeah.
So we're anticipating an increase in HOA for 20 to 30 years. Is that safe to say?
That's 10 years.
Yeah.
Mid 2030s, so it's like 2035.
Use 10 years from
10
now.
years. 10 years. 10 year build out, and then you should see some flattening. But again, I mean, you do have to prepare for inflation. You always have to keep up with inflation and make sure that you're fully funded for disasters or replacements and things like that.
So I apologize for the question, because that's crazy. The HOA is fixing to be a house note.
Is there no
Okay.
cap on an HOA fee?
Let me finish if you don't mind, please. I've been trying to tap in and I finally got in. So I apologize. I missed the percentage.
We don't know.
We don't know,
We
yeah.
don't know. You know, we certainly know next year. Beyond that, you know, it's impossible to say. I don't know what inflation is going to be in 2027.
That's like predicting who the next president's going to be.
Thank you, and I do wanna add, asking you shall receive. Thank you for the lighting on 1314. It is so much better at the entrance at 1314. Is so much better. I can see and appreciate that. Thank you.
The difference.
Do we have any other questions from anyone else?
Yes, I have a question. Is this the first time that the annual fee increase has been brought up and the data provided for the board members to review, or was this discussed like in a prior meeting?
This is the first time it's been presented at a board meeting. I've had multiple workshops about projections and things like that with various members of development to come up with the budget.
So it seems kind of quick to vote and then decide in the same meeting without all of the board members being able to review the data and determine if that increase is appropriate, seeing that it seems like one didn't get to look at it ahead of time.
We had workshops outside of meetings to go over all of the data, and the budget draft was sent in advance.
Okay, so they've all seen the numbers and got to look at it and digest it before they voted.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
They didn't speak for the first time today. Yeah.
Okay, and then, thank you. I had another, so like when there's large costs that are added to the budget, like let's say the security officer, I think it was 100,000, I think you said in one of the part and y'all were planning on having more officers. We don't get any say on that, just the board members. We don't have like whether we do or don't want to increase costs like that. It's just we all decide it and then you vote and then it's implemented.
Well, it is a board decision by the Master Maintenance Association Board of Directors. However, that the information, the feedback that is received from the residents is taken into consideration. It was one of our bigger topics at both of our annual meetings this year. And originally we were incorporating a second officer in the budget and opted not to do that based on the feedback that we got at those two meetings. So we're going to keep status quo for 2026, and then we'll see what our needs are, around the third quarter of next year, and start talking about 2027.
Which also gives an opportunity for all of you guys to see the reports that come from the constable's office and things like that.
Okay, so the annual meeting that you had last month, y'all bring up things like that, and that's when like our feedback is taken into account.
Yeah, and each one of these meetings as well. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, we have an open forum at every single meeting, so people are invited like they were today to ask any questions or provide any comments, and all of that information is taken into consideration on all decisions that the board makes.
Oh, you didn't see earlier, it was kind of getting a little heated. It didn't seem like it was really considered because they were saying like, hey, we want to see this and see that. And then the vote happened super quick, and I was like, oh, that's it, it's done. So that's why I'm asking, like, how much time do y'all get to digest it, and then our feedback taken into consideration? That's why I was asking. It just seems super fast.
The objective of these meetings. This is a business meeting for the board of the North Village HOA to review various things and make decisions. Residents are invited to observe. And then we open up towards the end of the meeting, we open up that open forum for questions, comments, concerns. It was what happened today was that discussion was preempted. It started before we'd actually opened up for open forum. So that's not a usual process. There was a little bit of an interruption there as we were going through that process of reviewing the packet with Laura.
Yeah, which I understand. We're angry, not weird, but some of us are not happy about the increase. The meeting that happened last month, the annual one, is it possible to do that one where you don't have to be in person? Because not everyone can make the in-person meeting. So the one last month I wanted to attend, but it seemed like it only was in person.
Yeah, so the challenge with that is just the venue. It's not really conducive to adding that virtual option. The acoustics are really poor to have. That's why we actually meet here, so we can offer this virtual we offer the virtual attendance because we're set up for this here. But at the gathering room, it's not conducive to that. And
okay.
That's why we do have it in the evening though. We have it at 6 p.m. So we try to make it as accessible as possible.
There are large master plans around the Greater Houston area that have their annual meetings as virtual only.
Yeah.
Which is something that perhaps we could consider if we think that might help more people to be able to attend. So that's something we could consider for next year.
Okay, great. Thank you. That's all the questions I had.
Thank you.
So just a quick question, when do we, for the Artavia North, when do we get more board members? At what point do we get more board members that actually, I mean, I'm not saying Danielle's not doing anything or the other person that's going to be elected, obviously she just came on board. But at what point do the board members from the neighborhood actually get to start making decisions on what the neighborhood has and will not?
So that's when the Master Maintenance Association, those are the decisions the Master Maintenance Association would make as far as amenities. I think that's what you're asking. So when at the completion of the development, each village will appoint homeowner board members to represent their village on the Master Maintenance and the Community Council boards. And so that's at full development.
So when the North Board, when the North Village is complete, and the North Village could be complete before the Central or South Villages are complete.
Right.
So when that North Village is complete, then there will be an election to elect all of the board members from the membership of the North Village. And then at that first meeting, when the board decides who's going to be president, vice president, and treasurer and secretary, at that same point, that board will decide who they're going to essentially appoint onto the master maintenance board as the North Village's homeowner representative on the master maintenance board. So it's kind of the same process that you're just going through at the moment at a village level. That same thing happens at a master maintenance level through the development of the community. It just takes time.
Okay, I was just wondering. I wasn't aware of what the projected time frame was or when the.
Yeah, so we anticipate that we've probably got 10-ish years, and that there's a big ish there, because it depends on a lot of factors.
Okay, great, thanks.
Yeah, a few more chats. More.
One more question. The income that comes from the renting the rental space, where does that go to?
Could you repeat that question?
The income from the rental space?
Mm-hmm.
Where does that go to?
The Master Maintenance Association retains that.
Because the Master Maintenance Association maintains the space that's rented. So any profit from that rental, that money is used to maintain the space.
So the North Village, it doesn't offset residents' fees. Even though us, the residents, are the ones who rent the space.
No, it offsets the maintenance of the building. So effectively, yes, it does, because those fees that residents pay to rent the space, those fees help to pay for the wear and tear on that building, which otherwise, as that would become part part of your assessment to the Master Maintenance Association. So essentially it does offset.
Yeah, and it's actually a very small margin too.
It's very
After
small,
you take
yeah.
out the expenses associated with it, there's a small margin left over of quote profit.
Yeah.
We have janitorial come after each one. We have, sometimes there's security, depending on what.
And we pay for that. There's a fee for that.
Depending on what kind of party it is. Sometimes there's security, there's an attendant that is.
Right,
that
and
is,
we pay for that. I say because I've rented it, so I've paid for the person who sits there.
It's a flat rate currently, and those costs are part of the flat rate. I'm saying that the profit margin is very small after those expenses.
What is that profit margin?
I'd have to look at it. Up.
Yeah, and it depends on the duration of the rental and all sorts of factors. There are many factors that impact it.
But we do have that data available to the residents. What profit that rental space is bringing?
It's a line item on the financial report.
On where is that one?
Financial report.
Is it on the My Red Dog financial reports?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, what's the number of it? I know you guys have a chart of account number to the left of the.
The GL account numbers in my head. Actually, I have a financial report. Let me look. Hold on 1 second. Oh. $40.80.
4080. And that was how much?
How much what?
What's the amount on the right side that you have on your report?
Revenue at the moment is $11,217.
Okay.
That number fluctuates after expenses are paid.
One other question on the budget, the HP. When you send out the letter that you get every year telling us about the increase, is there any way to very clearly identify this is exactly why your fees are going up? So maybe that'll cut down some of the confusion on why we're paying more.
We can there's an information letter, and we can expand upon some of the
We've done that.
Yeah, and we've done that. But we'll do that again. We'll talk, and we do we'll provide financial charts for each entity so you can see that as well.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I had one final question. So all the decisions that the Master Maintenance Association makes, until the North Village is built out, the residents don't have a lot of say what's going to get put in, like, pickleball or, a second splash pad and all that. Is that correct?
Well, it's sort of correct. The Master Maintenance Association per se is not the entity that makes the decisions of what amenities are added. That's actually a development decision. The developer of the community fully funds all of the amenities when they go in. So they design and install what they want to design and install. The Master Maintenance Association then takes over for maintenance costs. They're not, that entity per se is not part of that.
Building, it's not building the amenities,
Right.
yeah. We maintain them.
But the residents pay for it going forward. But we don't have a say so, is that correct?
Well, as I indicated earlier, these open sessions are something that developers are part of and listen to and take your comments into consideration. I believe pickleball has been something that was suggested in the past, and we're going to get a pickleball. We're getting pickleball. So that information is not the only factor, and I'm sure that I'm not the developer. I can't speak for the developer, but I can make some assumptions. I'm sure it's not the only factor that they consider whenever they're deciding what amenities are going to go in, but it is one of the factors. They do listen to what residents have to say about it.
Question on that same topic. When you send out, like the vote we did for the board members this year, is there a fee associated with that? Like things that in the future you're like, oh, maybe the developer might want to put a basketball court. Is it a way to send it where through the app, like, hey, did PDP vote on this? Maybe take a poll to see what we want. Like, if there's no fee associated with it, would it be helpful to do something like that in the future to kind of see what we want?
So like a survey of the residents, or I'm sure it's something that they, the developer would take that information. Yeah, we could certainly do that. There wouldn't be a cost if we did it all virtually.
Okay, that's what I'm wondering, because it seems like there's stuff going on that we don't really get any say, and no one's really asking us. So it would be easier if you did something like that. Maybe you send out an email saying we're doing a poll to see what residents would like and X, Y, and Z. Anytime y'all are thinking about maybe we should do this, what they want, that would be great.
Yeah, I think that's great, and the developer can take that information, but I think it's important to point out that it's not a vote of what will happen. It's just looking for feedback, and it doesn't mean, if somebody says, I want X, Y, Z, that's what's gonna happen. And at least
I would also say that I think it's unlikely that the HOAs would actually do that, because the installation of any future amenities is not an installation cost for the HOAs. I think it's more likely that something like that would come through the developer at some point.
Well, I'm just saying, some way for us to give the developer our feedback, just if they're able to do that, any calls.
I just want to, I want to make that demarcation clear, that if and when that happens, it wouldn't be an HOA survey. It would come from the developer.
Okay, well, just something, I just wanted to see some way for us to have a bit more of a voice on things we would like, not saying it's happening, just for us to have a voice, it's the community as a whole, just some way y'all can, survey us, get feedback more than just once a month meeting.
Yeah, and these meetings happen monthly, but you can send an email to Laura and her team at any point.
Okay.
So there are other ways of being in contact, other than just through this meeting. Obviously, this is a public forum, and for some people that's what they enjoy, and that's what they feel kind of like gets their message over better. But believe me, the emails and communications that come through Laura and her team, that information comes to us too. We talk on a regular basis.
Yeah, no, I was just saying, like, a community as a whole, some kind of, survey, some kind of poll for everyone's, feedback, not just me. Because I've emailed them before, they're very responsive and helpful. It's just, I'll be something like for everyone, put a voice and not just feel, hey, we should get this, in my opinion, just more everyone in the community, us to provide feedback for the developer or whoever's going to make these decisions. That's all I was looking for. Just something to put in your ear to think about, maybe to consider in the future to get everyone.
Heard.
Yeah, it's going to raise the HOA fees in the future. I mean, it seems like they don't really take a budget into account. They just spend whatever. Well, next year it'll be up another 100. I mean, I don't know. We have foreclosures in this neighborhood. It's not a good thing,
I think you'll find that in every community there are people who are in situations that end in foreclosure. It's sad, but it's not unusual.
Yeah, because 5-6 years ago, this neighborhood was suck. Prices were kind of going up. There weren't that many homes for sale, and now it's just the total opposite,
We just have to remember we're in a different market at this point in time as well. As far as home buying goes, you have resale competing with builders that have lower interest rates than you can get on a resale home. A lot of affordability is not as great right now. There's a lot of factors that go into it. What we get from our advisors and team members that we work with, we're getting real data on lot sales, home sales, everything going on from across the country to right here in Houston. We're not going off of, what people may say. We're having to go based off of actual, what is happening, what's the state of the market. We go to state of the markets very regularly. As a developer, we go to multiple different ones, so we make sure we're not hearing the same thing from the same people every time. So we are very in the know of what is happening right now. We have to also take into consideration very different market, an unfortunate market than we were in 5-6 years ago.
Which is why, guys, we need to stay competitive.
Thank you. Any other questions? Okay, we're gonna go ahead and move on to our executive session. Then I would like to thank everyone for taking the time to join us this afternoon. Hopefully you all can make it out to our second annual meeting to conclude that election. So hope to see you there. Thank you.
And if you can't, please vote.
Yes, please vote online. Thank you.